Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed citizens, and believers in the boundless potential of the human spirit. Today, we gather not just to reflect on the journey of a remarkable individual, but to celebrate a story of hope, perseverance, and triumph. A story that embodies the essence of the American dream. That individual is none other than Kamala Devi Harris, the first woman, the first African American, and the first South Asian American to serve as Vice President of the United States. Her journey is not just the tale of one woman's rise to power. It is a reflection of the collective progress, dreams, and aspirations of all those who have ever dared to break barriers, shatter ceilings, and transform adversity into strength. Kamala Harris's life and career are nothing short of inspirational. And today, we will explore her story in depth, not just as a politician, but as a symbol of resilience, courage, and unwavering commitment to justice. Her rise to one of the most powerful positions in the world is a testament to the enduring power of belief in oneself, the value of public service, and the idea that in America, no dream is too big and no goal is beyond reach. The roots of Kamala Harris, a story of immigrant dreams and values. Kamala Harris's story begins with her parents, Shyamala Gopalan, a cancer researcher from India, and Donald Harris, an economist from Jamaica, who came to the United States with the hopes of building better lives for themselves and contributing to the fabric of a nation that promised opportunity for all. Harris was born on October 20th, 1964 in Oakland, California, during a time when the civil rights movement was sweeping the country. Growing up, she was deeply influenced by her parents' activism and their passion for justice and equality. Her mother, Shyamala, played a particularly profound role in shaping her worldview. Shyamala instilled in her daughters the belief that they had a duty to be engaged in the fight for civil rights and to stand up for those who were marginalized and disenfranchised. Kamala's mother often reminded her of the importance of never letting anyone tell her who she was. She should define herself. This idea became a guiding principle for Kamala throughout her life. Raised in the vibrant, multicultural community of Berkeley, California, Kamala was exposed to a diverse array of cultures, perspectives, and experiences from an early age. This upbringing laid the foundation for her understanding of what it meant to live in a world filled with both challenges and opportunities. Kamala's early experiences attending protests, community meetings, and learning about social justice issues gave her a unique perspective on the interconnectedness of race, gender, and economic inequality in America. A commitment to justice, education, and early career. Kamala Harris's path to leadership was defined by a commitment to justice and a desire to uplift the most vulnerable. After attending Howard University, a historically black college, where she majored in political science and economics, she returned to California to earn her law degree from the University of California, Hastings College of the Law. Kamala's decision to pursue a career in law was driven by her desire to become a voice for those who often go unheard in the halls of power. Her mother's influence remained strong, reminding her that being a lawyer was not just a profession. It was a platform to fight for change and create a fairer, more just society. Kamala's early legal career was defined by her work as a prosecutor. She began her career in the Alameda County District Attorney's Office, where she prosecuted cases involving violent crimes, drug trafficking, and sexual assault. From the very beginning, Kamala displayed a fierce commitment to justice and fairness. But she also understood that the justice system needed reform, and she was determined to be part of that change. In 2003, Kamala made history when she was elected as District Attorney of San Francisco, becoming the first woman and the first African American to hold the office. During her tenure, she implemented several progressive policies aimed at reforming the criminal justice system and creating alternatives to incarceration. Her Back on Track program, which provided first-time, nonviolent offenders with educational and employment opportunities instead of prison time, became a national model for reducing recidivism and giving people a second chance. Her time as district attorney was not without controversy, as she faced criticism from both progressives and conservatives for her decisions on issues like the death penalty and policing. But throughout it all, Kamala remained steadfast in her belief that the justice system could be reformed from within, and that her role as a prosecutor was to seek justice, not just convictions. Her ability to navigate these challenges and remain true to her values would become a hallmark of her career. Attorney General of California, a champion for reform. In 2010, Kamala Harris was elected Attorney General of California, once again making history as the first woman, the first African American, and the first South Asian American to hold the position. As the top law enforcement officer in the largest state in the country, Kamala faced immense pressure and responsibility. But she embraced the challenge, using her platform to tackle some of the most pressing issues facing California and the nation. As Attorney General, Kamala continued her work on criminal justice reform, but she also expanded her focus to include a wide range of issues, from consumer protection to environmental justice. She fought to hold big banks accountable for their role in the foreclosure crisis, securing a landmark $20 billion settlement for California homeowners who had been victimized by predatory lending practices during the Great Recession. Her leadership during this crisis earned her a reputation as a tenacious advocate for the people, unafraid to take on powerful interests. Kamala also took a strong stance on climate change, recognizing the importance of environmental justice and the disproportionate impact that environmental degradation has on low-income communities and communities of color. She fought to hold polluters accountable, and she worked to strengthen California's environmental protections in the face of opposition from the federal government. But perhaps one of the most significant moments of Kamala's tenure as Attorney General was her decision to stand up for marriage equality. In 2013, she famously refused to defend California's Proposition 8, which bans same-sex marriage, in federal court. Her refusal to defend the discriminatory law helped pave the way for its eventual overturning, marking a major victory for the LGBTQ+ community and for civil rights in the United States. Throughout her time as Attorney General, Kamala demonstrated an unwavering commitment to justice, fairness, and the belief that the law should be a tool for positive change. She navigated complex political landscapes, often finding herself at the intersection of progressive ideals and the practical realities of governance. But she never lost sight of her mission to create a more just and equitable society. The U.S. Senate, a voice for the voiceless. In 2016, Kamala Harris was elected to the United States Senate, becoming only the second African-American woman to ever serve in the Senate's history. As a senator representing California, one of the most diverse and populous states in the nation, Kamala brought a unique perspective to the national stage. Her time in the Senate was marked by her fierce advocacy on behalf of marginalized communities and her relentless pursuit of justice and equality. As a member of key Senate committees, including the Judiciary and Homeland Security committees, Kamala played a prominent role in some of the most important debates of the day. Her tough, no-nonsense questioning of witnesses during Senate hearings, particularly during the confirmation hearings of Supreme Court justices, earned her widespread recognition as a powerful and effective advocate. She became known for her sharp legal mind, her ability to hold powerful individuals accountable, and her dedication to protecting the rights of all Americans. Kamala used her platform in the Senate to address a wide range of issues, including criminal justice reform, immigration, healthcare, and women's rights. She was a co-sponsor of the Medicare for All bill, advocating for a healthcare system that would provide access to quality care for every American. She also introduced legislation to address the disproportionate impact of maternal mortality on Black women, highlighting her commitment to fighting for reproductive justice and healthcare equity. In the wake of the tragic deaths of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and other Black Americans at the hands of police, Kamala emerged as a leading voice in the fight for police reform and racial justice. She co-sponsored the Justice in Policing Act, which sought to address systemic racism in law enforcement and hold police officers accountable for misconduct. Kamala's work in the Senate reflected her lifelong commitment to using the law as a tool for justice and equity. Vice Presidency, Breaking Barriers, Leading with Grace. In 2020, Kamala Harris was selected by Joe Biden as his running mate, making history once again as the first woman of color to be nominated for the vice presidency by a major political party. The Biden-Harris ticket faced an incredibly challenging campaign, running against an incumbent president during a time of profound national crisis. The COVID-19 pandemic had upended American life, and the country was grappling with deep political divisions, economic uncertainty, and a reckoning with racial injustice. Throughout the campaign, Kamala brought her characteristic energy, determination, and optimism. She spoke directly to the hopes and fears of the American people, emphasizing the importance of unity, compassion, and leadership in times of crisis. Her candidacy inspired millions, particularly young women and people of color, who saw in Kamala a reflection of their own aspirations and dreams. On November 7, 2020, Kamala Harris made history once again when she and Joe Biden won the election, defeating incumbent President Donald Trump. On January 20, 2021, Kamala was sworn in as Vice President of the United States, becoming the highest-ranking woman in American history and breaking centuries-old barriers of race and gender. As Vice President, Kamala Harris has taken on a wide range of responsibilities, from addressing the root causes of migration in Central America to leading efforts to combat the COVID-19 pandemic. She has worked alongside President Biden to pass transformative legislation, including the American Rescue Plan and the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, aimed at revitalizing the economy, supporting working families, and investing in the nation's future. Kamala Harris's legacy, a beacon of hope and progress. Kamala Harris's story is a story of hope. Hope that, in America, no matter who you are or where you come from, you can make a difference. Her life and career have been defined by her unwavering belief in justice, her dedication to public service, and her commitment to creating a more equitable and inclusive society. She has broken barriers at every stage of her career, showing the world that leadership is not about where you start, but where you are determined to go. Kamala's legacy is not just about the offices she has held or the policies she has championed. It is about the millions of people, especially young girls and women of color, who look to her as a source of inspiration. She has shown them that they, too, can rise to the highest levels of leadership, that their voices matter, and that they have the power to shape the future. In Kamala Harris, we see the embodiment of resilience, grace, and determination. She reminds us that progress is possible, even in the face of the most daunting challenges. She has carried with her the lessons of her ancestors, the wisdom of her mentors, and the hopes of those who have been overlooked and marginalized. And as she continues to lead, Kamala Harris stands as a beacon of hope, reminding us all that the future is bright and full of possibility. Thank you. Let us all be inspired by her journey, and may we continue to strive for a world where justice, equality, and opportunity are within reach for everyone.